The philosophy behind the Ronald McDonald House really is that it's supposed to be a home away from home.
The clearest mission I've ever seen: to help children, number one, but to serve as a loving home away from home for critically ill kids who come to Penn State Children's Hospital.
People come here and have problems, but they're smiles. This place will help you smile in a rough situation. That's why it exists. Terrific. And the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the players had a daughter that had cancer, unfortunately, and the Eagles got behind this concept of having a house for people to stay at.
My name is Jimmy Murray. I'm probably the luckiest guy in the world. I'm the altar boy that made the call that started the Ronald McDonald House. I'm thrilled, but I'm totally humbled because I know how smart I'm not. But I think calling McDonald's was the McMiracle. The marriage of the NFL, who really embraced this. And you put them together with McDonald's, and you got the world's greatest Happy Meal.
I'm Ray Pedersen. I'm a McDonald's owner-operator. Been involved in the Ronald McDonald House since late 1982, when the idea first came to start one in Hershey. I will say I do remember back when my one daughter was very young, 6 months old. She was regressing, and we took her to Hahnemann Hospital in Philadelphia. We slept in the hallway of the hospital, and wanted to be right there with her. But it's not a time to just be alone in a cold hallway. So I think that experience kind of drove us a little more towards, seeking a way to help families. Knew Jimmy Murray, and we're familiar with the Ronald McDonald House. In fact, we went to the opening down there when it originally opened.
It's not about Jim Murray or the NFL or even McDonald's. It's about the volunteers who you don't even know.
I'm Sharon Rowland, and I've been a volunteer here at the McDonald House since before there was really even a house here. And I got involved originally because I had a child that was sick and was being treated at the medical center. And my doctor approached us about them wanting to build a house here at Hershey. So I said sure right away, never realizing at the time that I would actually end up staying at the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia for a while with my daughter, and finding out firsthand how important the house is.
When I look back, we did a lot of work. I don't want to say we didn't do a lot of hard work, sometimes every day and a lot of nights. But
the hardest thing actually wasn't finding the money, or getting the money. The hardest thing was getting the piece of land here.
we had Mrs. Landis, who owned the property here and had a house on this, was very, very good to us.
She called Herb a short time after that and said, "Mr. Nurick, I had a dream last night, and God said to me, you need to give your house to the Ronald McDonald House, so I want you to have it."
The house went under construction in 1983, or late 1983, and we opened in 1984 in November.
When I was 9 years old, I was chosen to cut the ribbon here at the Ronald McDonald House. I was very excited to get to meet Ronald McDonald. As a 9-year-old girl, I was very excited to get to see him because he was actually here for the opening.
And I remember it was a rainy day for housebreaking. She cut the ribbon and the sun came out. That was absolutely unbelievable. So symbolic of what was to come from this house. And I said, "You made the sun come out. You made us smile." Boy, that was something.
It was tough because without this facility here, my mother, I don't remember how long the hospital stay was, but she stayed at the hospital every single night with my sister.
It's human nature. We'll give our kids care when we're not giving it to ourselves.
And I remember thinking so clearly, we have to help these families to rejuvenate, to get the proper foods, to get the proper rest, so when they go to the medical center, they would be better able to meet their child's needs.
The best thing we did, I really feel, was hiring Grace and Ben Helm to be the first managers of the house. They were an extraordinary couple. They had been house parents at the Milton Hershey School, which was an ideal background to be able to run a house where you're dealing with families that are really in need, both social, economic, and emotional need.
These families that come here, I mean, they're usually very serious cases. You know, as volunteers, we don't know what they're going through. And you just have to be a good listener, and you know when to ask a question or when just to listen.
We've had 24,000 families walk through our doors since it opened in 1984.
I was here when it was a very small house, and I saw it grow, and I saw it grow even more, and it's just been so exciting to see that. You know?
By the end of the 10 years that I was here, we were wondering where we were going to put the families that needed the services of a Ronald McDonald House, and we had to turn families away. They would be put on a waiting list, and I'm sure there are, again, situations today that they say, well, we can't get you in tonight, but maybe tomorrow night. But in the meantime, they do have the family room at the medical center. Just to have more areas for the families who were not wanting to leave their child. They wanted to remain in the hospital.
To stay here, it doesn't cost anything. It's almost hard to describe how meaningful it is to what I think for the parents to stay at this house. And to have the volunteers here and have the meals and the activity, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It costs a lot of money to run a Ronald McDonald House, to keep it going. And you can't replace the house that Love built, but you need to pay for it.
We're fortunate that we have a great relationship with the community and that they're responsive to our needs. Whenever we put out a plea for, whether it be for supplies needed, food items, it's always amazing and humbling the way the community responds. When I started, we had 20 bedrooms. Each time we mounted the expansion, we did so, of course, because we had a need. We were turning away families. We had waiting lists.
So we started the capital campaign to do the new addition, the 20,000 square foot addition, and 8,500 square feet over in the original house. So we proceeded. That was a goal to raise $4.5 million in 3 years. And in fact, we raised $4.7 million in 2 years.
McDonald's helped to get this whole thing started, and they have never, ever walked away or forgotten this organization.
The Amish community felt very strongly that they wanted to support this because they use it quite heavily. And so a lot of the fundraising, and I believe some of the actual labor, was from the Amish community, particularly through quilt sales.
Not only did they do a beautiful fundraiser for us with the auction, but they came back and helped to frame this house when we built.
When you come to Ronald McDonald House, what's the nicest part about coming here? Playroom. The playroom.
We worked with Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, which they did the murals. They did a fantastic job in here. Got the computers for the little older kids and all the games and out of the fry boxes and, you know, you name it. It was all, it turned out fabulous and the kids love it.
When you walk into the McDonald's, you'll see collection boxes that are at the counters, and when you drive through, you'll see collection boxes, and they'll say Ronald McDonald House Charities. In the years that we've been doing this, we've given out well over $2 million to 100 charities. There is not a county in our 10-county area where we have not touched children in where they live and made their life just a little bit better.
We've certainly, over the years, lost children. It's just much more difficult when you lose a child.
When you've lost a child, that stays with you forever. Doesn't matter how many years. I know people would say to me when my daughter was sick, "Oh, I know how you feel," and they don't. Unless you've unless you have had a sick child, you don't understand. And at least when parents or families are here and they talk to me, I can honestly say, you know, I've been through it. I know how it feels. So yeah, I'd like to believe there's a special connection.
We have been so blessed by the volunteers, such a critical part of the operation.
I personally love working with the volunteers who don't have to be here and who bring a cheerfulness and love every time they come here and answer a phone, make a bed, clean a bathroom, cook a meal, bring their beloved dogs for pet therapy. These people are, to me, they're just inspirations. I just love working here.
It isn't one volunteer that makes this happen. It truly is a team effort.
Truthfully, words can't describe the debt of gratitude that we owe to these people. The volunteers, the house staff, people that we've never even met, couldn't imagine going through this kind of ordeal without all of the good people that help us.
When I check a family in and I see what they're going through, how tired they are, how scared they are, and I think that this can offer them some kind of help. I just think that's what it gets down to. That's what it's all about.
Just every time you drive by and you think, it's working. It's really making a difference.